All right, what's up, Kayaha? My name is Bronson. For those who don't know me, I'm gonna be doing a devotional this time around. I hope everybody is well and doing all right during this, whole COVID-19 and everything else that's going on in the world. My devotion was kind of inspired by Joyce Meyers, so I'll make sure to give credit when I get to those words. But without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and jump straight in. So, my word is just to remember, just remember that God sees you. And excuse my background music, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave that on for inspiration for me and you. But yeah, remember that God sees you. He knows you. He knows you better than you even know yourself. Any believer could assure you that He knew your next step before you could take it, and the path that you would travel before you can race, walk, or even crawl through it. Amen. Um, Life is hard, man. It's hard to find which job you want to do, and I'm looking straight ahead because I did write my message down, so I'm using my computer too. But yeah, life is hard. It's hard to find which job you want to do. Um, while I am not a parent, I can imagine that being hard as well. It is hard to be a brother, a sister, an uncle, you name it. It's hard to find out who you are. It's hard to make marriage for you and your partner the best thing ever. It is hard to live for self and for others. It is hard. Um, it is hard to please people, whether that be your friends, family, or your partner. Okay. So with relations, finances, and doing God's work of course, it's going to be painful. Life doesn't seem to have a shortcut. Even for a millionaire. Look at Trump. Chris Brown, Rihanna, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Kim, and Kanye West, just to name a few couples out there, and a president that's got tons of money as well. Um, However, in the midst of all this hardship, we should remain thankful, keep fighting, and believe uh, wherever we are and whatever we are going through. Music cut off, internet issues. Um, Often it is that we punch but forget He is in the fight with us. Amen. Or it is that we give up punching and expect Him to save us. Um, sorry. Expect Him to save us. But rather, we should surrender and give thanks after He has done the work to give provision. Giving up isn't a bad thing, though it is hard. When a person is believing, God, is going to get us through the fire. But it is when we give up and run on the world's time and control that it does become dangerous. For instance, at work, when I don't be getting sales and become when I don't get sales and become anxious about money, instead, one thing that I can do is ask God to help and not think I have to take it on my own hands and worry. Or in marriage, when I think I need to stop, in marriage, when I think I need to stand up and defend myself, why not listen, take a breath, ask for God's guidance? Another example would be with all the social media we are on. It is another telescope lens in which many compare themselves to the person higher than them, or so they imagine them to be, and being successful, which causes pain, or for others, it makes them feel better when looking at others as less than them. In this place, we are often blinded by the devil's distractions and do not notice what God has planned for us, or what God has planned for that person who is making you feel better or worse than. Okay? Even when people die, what do we typically think of first? Um, that person is gone. We are sad. We do not typically think of all the good they did or joy that they brought. Okay, and here's Joyce Meyers' devotion. Okay, um, Joyce her devotion was based on joy and suffering. And excuse me, my computer just locked up, so I got to type the password back in here. So Joyce Meyers, joy is suffering. Okay. Consider it wholly joyful, my brethren, whenever you are uh, in, envel- enveloped in or encounter trials of any sort of fall into various temptations. That comes from James 1, verse 2. Um, a spiritually mature person, Joyce says, has a different view of trials and tribulations than an immature person. A spiritually mature person handles tribulations by keeping joy and trusting God in the midst of it. Even though the enemy may be bringing it, man, that's powerful. She said, even though the enemy may be bringing it, God is able to work good out of it. And very often we learn things about ourselves. And when during the trials, we would never see any other way. We should thank God. We should thank God in the midst of our trials instead of murmuring and complaining and feeling sorry for ourselves. Look at your troubles in a new way. Don't act any differently when you are going through a storm than you would if life were full of rainbows. You don't get rainbows until you've been through a storm. You don't get rainbows until you have been through the storm. And remember, with every temptation, he also provides a way out. And then she put 1 Corinthians 10 and 13 to look at too. And what that reads is, no temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. Thank goodness. But when you are tempted, he will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. And she says, power thought, Joyce says, I have joy even in the midst of my trials. So I'm way over. God bless you guys. I hope you have a good week, and I will hopefully see you Sunday. All right, bye.